Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to go through and show you my August favorites. Things that I've been using the most this month, but also not just makeup, but show you some other things as well. If we're talking makeup, there's a lot that I purchased this month, more than I intended to, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I'm like, okay, slow down. But so much of it has been really good. And I'll tell you, when I decided at the beginning of this year to be purposeful, to do my research and not just to buy willy-nilly, it really has decreased the amount that I'm buying. But I feel like everything that I'm trying, almost everything, is fantastic. One of the first things that came in this month that really impressed me was the Goss Luxury Eye Palette in Imperial Topaz. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I love that I can do a really subtle look with this. So this shade here is the shade number 2, but it is a slightly satiny brown that very lightly going in the crease gives me just a hair of definition without being too much. I also have shade number 1, which is more of a highlighty champagne shade on the lid and in the inner corner. And then I have black, the black shade number 3, kind of shoved in with a really teeny tiny Goss tightline brush, just like right into the roots of my lashes. So I'm just using the whole top row today, and that's all I have on my eyes. It's what I really have been preferring to wear, is a really light, you know, more natural looking makeup for the month of August, as I feel like it gets so hot where I live that it kind of just melts off. So I wear minimal makeup, and I have been wearing mascara mostly on my upper lashes because my bottom lashes, they touch right down here, and when I laugh I kind of crinkle my eyes up, and then I get a whole bunch of transfer just because it's so hot right now. But I'll get back to bottom lash mascara on the daily when the temperature starts to like decrease. The other thing I love about this is this shade here I am using as a highlight, and I have been using it as a highlight since that Goss video. Love this so much. I also happened to pick up the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace in their collaboration with Mel Tompson. Now, Mel Tompson is the one who turned me on to Sydney Grace shadows in the first place, and I absolutely love that I finally took the, dive into the Sydney Grace waters, and I have been nothing but pleased ever since. So this is her collaboration palette. It's beautiful. I have done a couple of looks this month using, like the green, using this pastel-y kind of lavender shade called Jewel Bee, using some of these darker, more plummy shades. I've used this quite a bit, but my favorite look, I don't think it's up yet, is one where I use this shade, and then a combo of this and this. It's a really light wash over the eye, and it's very similar in look to this, where it's nothing too dark, nothing too intense, just a little hint of shimmer. I really have been playing a lot with this, but it's the Goss and the Mel Tompson palettes that I've been kind of living in July. Other makeup that I bought this month, and I bought this at the beginning of August, and it took me a while to edit the video and to get it uploaded, so I have had this for more than just a couple of weeks, but it's the L'Oreal Age Perfect. And I'll tell you, the things that I have been reaching the most for, I do really like this concealer. Now, it's a medium weight concealer, but my favorite thing about it, it's almost like, really, is that I can put it on and I can tap it out, and then I can go and grab a powder to set my under eye with. And normally I have to come back, and before I touch any powder to that concealer, with every other concealer that I own, I have to tap it out to make sure that I re-smooth it out so I don't set creasing in my crepey, crinkly under eye area, because most of my other concealer, all of my other concealer, goes straight into those crinkles. This does not, and this whole doesn't settle into the lines. It doesn't do that, and I love it for it. I, by the way, have the shade Ivory 200. I wish there was a little bit more coverage to this. I can build it up, but I'm not wearing any foundation today. They do have their serum foundation, and I do like this, but since I've been trying it this month, because it has been so hot, I'm wearing less makeup overall, and I'm using concealer just where I need it, under the eyes, corners of the nose, my hyperpigmentation spot, and then on the zits that will not leave me alone. I just feel like one clears up over here, another one pops up over here, and they're just like trading spots. Right, left, all month long. I feel like this has got enough coverage where if I'm not trying to blend it into foundation, I feel like I get enough coverage without it being too much. It's a great everyday concealer. It's not going to give you like a full glam, full beat sort of look if you're looking for like the ultimate glamour. I feel like this is good for every day, going to work, brunch with friends. Not that we're doing a lot of those things right now, but it's the sort of makeup that I want to be seen in that makes my skin look like skin. Because sometimes things that are higher coverage, I look a little bit like pancake face. And this, I don't. I feel like this is very natural looking and I like it for that. I did also really enjoy the blush. This is in the shade Rosewood, and this blush is really funny because I wasn't sure that I was going to love it. I am wearing it today. It does have a really pretty, and I don't know that you'll see it here, a really pretty soft shimmer to it. It's a satin blush, and I have worn it probably like 6 times this month and not worn highlight. And for me, I love a highlight. I love a blingy highlight, like Benefit's Cookie highlight or the Amrezy highlight, or like I have like a whole row of highlights right here, like right within reach, like my favorite ones. And I have been using the Wayne Goss like eyeshadow as highlight, but this on its own is beautiful. And it's not like a really blingy, shimmery, glowy, but it gives your skin that healthy look, a little bit of flush. And the shimmer that it gives, it's not really even shimmer, it's more just like a subtle glow. Love, love, love. I am wearing this lipstick today in combination with something else. This is the Age Perfect lipstick. This is their Bright Mocha. And this is the one, I forget which one it is. It's the hydrating lipstick because it has the core, the hydrating core in the middle. I know there's 2 different types. There's a cream lipstick and then the hydrating lipstick. And the weird thing is, this claim on this is that it gives you 9 hours of hydration. Now, when I wear this, it doesn't last for 9 hours. So let's not confuse those 2 points. But I feel like at the end of the day, my lips are softer than where they started out. And I wear a lip sleeping mask every night. But sometimes, like when I wake up in the morning, I'll roll over and go back to sleep. And I won't get up for a while and all of my lip sleeping mask is gone. And my lips can get a little bit dry. And I haven't gotten up to get I normally drink about 20 ounces of water first thing in the morning, and that helps to hydrate my body. But I'll wake up and my lips feel a little bit dry. Sometimes it's like slightly flaky in areas. When I wear this, my lips at the end of the day when I take my makeup off, I am so impressed with how soft they feel. So I do really like this lipstick, and it's natural looking, really soft and beautiful. I am wearing it today with my all-time favorite red lipstick from Lipstick Queen. This is Medieval. I have told you about this lipstick, I feel like a million times. My love for it is boundless. I've gone through, I can't even tell you how many tubes of this. Every time I get close to ending one, I buy another. It's really a beautiful lipstick. Been using both of these a lot, but I have them mixed today on my lips. This is kind of a random shot my stash, but I have been using the Balm's Take Home the bronzer in the shade Oliver, and it's kind of weird because it has kind of like what looks like little bumps in here, and when you run your finger over it, it feels kind of bumpy. I don't understand what's different about this formulation, but it gives me, I'm wearing it today, a beautiful soft bronze that's not too much, and I forgot how good this was until I was like, oh, I should put that out. I remember liking that bronzer, and for the longest time I've been using Benefit's Hula Light. I've been trying to finish it. I panned part of it. I hit pan on it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish it this year. And that may not happen because this has been the only bronzer I've been reaching for the month of August. All right, so I mentioned that there were some non-makeup items here. One that I will tell you about, I've been struggling with some acne on my chin. This is like where I used to get a lot of stress or hormonal acne in my mid to late 30s. I would say between 34 and about 40, 41, I dealt with a lot of it. Like there was always something on my chin and I didn't know how to deal with it. And then it stopped. Somehow it has come back. It came back at the beginning of July. I think I was really stressed leading up to my brain surgery. And then after that, I had a family member who got sick and passed from COVID. And I haven't said anything about it, but it was in July, late July. That was very stressful. And I just feel like there's been a lot going on that has kind of kept the anxiety level high for me. So I feel like that might be what this is. I don't think it's a shift in my skincare. I think it's mostly stress related. So the one thing that has really helped the most are these guys. These are the CosRx Acne Pimple Master Patch. I have an entirely unopened little zippy of them here, but they are little tiny colloidal dots. So what I'll do is I will double cleanse my face, I will dry my face, I will put on my moisturizer and kind of skip where I need to put, like I'll carefully like put my skincare around to leave that spot kind of bare. And then I will put on one of these little tiny, and they come in different sizes. They have some that are kind of medium, some that are kind of larger, and some little teeny tiny guys. I feel like I'm showing you like a white piece of paper. But you pull one of these off and you put it over the blemish, and it does two things for me. One, these hydrocolloidal patches do kind of draw out, if you're coming to a whitehead, it will draw out the oils inside of that, and it will kind of reduce the bump, the redness. It's great. But what it really does for me, because I am a massive picker, is I put it on there, and every time I go and touch it, I'm like, oh, yep, hands off. It's kind of like a little mini Band-Aid, and I love it for that. So the other thing that's great is, those are the ones I wear at night, the one that come in the red packaging. They have some that come in this black packaging, and these are their Clear Fit Master Patches. I just buy these on Amazon. And of course, CosRx is a Korean brand, but these guys here are slightly different. They're not as thick. I only have 4 of these left, so I'm gonna have to reorder. But as you can see, they're very thin dots. They do have a little salicylic acid on the part that touches your skin. And this is kind of what I wear, and it's great now because if you're wearing a mask, you can throw a whole bunch of these on, wear your mask, and nobody knows you're wearing it. And then when you're home, take your mask off, or you're in your office at work and it's just you. Nobody has to see it, but you're still doing something to make sure something's not irritating your skin, you're not picking at it, and you're able to keep, you know, like dust, dirt, smog, all of this environmental stressors that can be bad for our skin off of what is already a very sensitive area. So I really love these patches from CosRx. I think they're amazing. And I know that a lot of companies make these colloidal patches, so it doesn't have to be these, just something to cover it, so that you, if you're like me, can keep your hands off, but it can also help to draw out some of the impurities in your skin. This is gonna seem totally random, but actual correspondence. My best friend and I have known each other since we were 12 years old. Well, before that, but we've been best friends since we were 12. We met in junior high. We were in the same homeroom in junior high, and I moved away 2 years later, and we started writing. This was in the late 80s when there was no, no internet, there was no email, there were no cell phones for teenagers, and so we could only afford, remember we had to pay for long distance? We could only afford a half an hour, once a week conversation, if that. She did 2 a month, I did 2 a month, so I was paying for 1 hour of long distance a month, and we would talk like on the weekends for half an hour every weekend, and the rest of the time we'd write letters. And she told me the other day, she's like, look, I feel like I need something to keep my mind off of all of the stress that's going on right now. She says, would it be okay if we started writing actual correspondence again? If you didn't grow up writing letters, this may seem tedious to you, but I love getting legit mail, not junk mail, but real mail in my mailbox. But on top of that, there is also something that can be very peaceful. It's kind of like sitting down to make a list. And I'll admit I'm a Luddite. I like paper, I like pens, I like stamps and envelopes and all of that. I like to do things by hand that take time. And this, sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and kind of either telling a story or letting somebody know what's going on with you in your mind, or what your kids are dealing with. It's just kind of a way for me to kind of mentally, while trying to be humorous, kind of unload what's going on in my life. And I have loved it. I get about 2 letters a week. I write about 2 letters a week. We've been doing that now for a solid 6 weeks, and it's been really great. Another thing that I love is I got some pens. They're not expensive. These are the brand Stabilo. These are the fine 0.4, but they're bright colors. You know, you've got a teal, a blue, a green, a pink shade, and a purple. And I love, if I'm going to be writing, I got some resume paper. I got some envelopes that were this size, and so I sliced the resume paper in half. And start writing on the sheets in brightly colored pens, and I don't know, it just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. So, you know, my pen collection and correspondence, and been buying new stationery, and it's been a real bright spot for me in August. One of the things I started doing as lockdown started back in March was looking for ways to get food delivered to my door. None of my grocery stores locally will deliver to my door. They'll do curbside pickup. So I started looking for other options, and I found a company online called Imperfect Foods. Now, obviously I'm a small enough channel that this is not a sponsored thing, but I wanted to tell you about my favorite things. One of my favorite snacks comes from this company called Imperfect Foods. This idea behind Imperfect Foods is that they are trying to reduce food waste, reduce CO2 emissions, reduce wasted water that comes in growing produce and things like that, and put, you know, food in the hands of people who are going to buy it that wouldn't be able to be sold at a grocery store because maybe it's too small, maybe it's too big, maybe they have too many oranges and there's a surplus of oranges that need to get sold before they go bad. So Imperfect Foods buys all of that food and then ships it out in boxes. I love the fact that I can get produce delivered straight to my door. Now they have more than produce. You can get meats, you can get dairy, you can get snack foods, you can get dry goods, you can get all sorts of stuff. But my new favorite thing that I discovered a couple weeks ago was this. And it's actually Imperfect Foods branded. So it's a product that they, oh look, we've got pretzel pieces. These are their dark chocolate covered pretzel pieces. It's not pretzels. Now you will find an occasional like whole pretzel, but a lot of times it's just a little pretzel piece that's been covered in chocolate. And the fact that this end is covered and this end is covered shows me that this is that humble little broken piece of a pretzel that normally snack food maker is not going to want to put in a bag. Now, if something happens and some of the pretzels get crushed in the bag, but they're not going to fill it with broken pieces on purpose. The idea is to give you whole pretzels. Well, this company works with somebody who has pretzel pieces. They work with somebody else who's good at enrobing things in chocolate, and they turn it into an amazing, delicious snack. They've got a lot of really great things. I feel really good about it because we're eating a snack that we would like anyway, chocolate covered anything. My family is happy, but I love that it's taking what might have been a throwaway food item like a broken pretzel as kind of, and you know, lifting it up, putting it on a pedestal, dipping it in chocolate and saying these are worth being eaten because they're delicious, and they are. The last thing that I really started loving in this month is crocheting. At the beginning of August, I picked up a crochet hook for the first time since I was 5. So 40 years went by and I hadn't done a thing with it. And the reason that I started crocheting was because I was looking for a way to keep my hands occupied, because if it gets past a certain point in the evening, I just instantly go snacks. And I gained almost 10 pounds since lockdown started. And I was like, you know, if I keep gaining, you know, 1.5 pounds or so every month, that's not good. It's been 5 months and I can start telling it's a big deal. And over the last 2.5 years, I had lost more than 100 pounds. And I was like, I'm not going to slowly creep back up by late night snacking. So I thought if I start at a certain point in the evening crocheting, most of my chores are done, my hands are busy, and I'm not going to want to get any snack food on what it is I'm working on. So I started crocheting, and I made a whole bunch of scarves. This one was kind of fun. It was folded. No, it wasn't anymore. But it has some tassels. I learned how to tassel stuff. This was a variegated yarn, so it goes, you know, from the cream to the variegated color to the teal. But I made that for a friend. I made scarves for everybody in my family. I have one, made one for my husband, a nice big chunky gray, charcoal gray one. Made ones for each of my girls. And then I decided, now that I've made 5 scarves, maybe it's time to start on something a little bit bigger. So, as I drop things here, I started working on a blanket. So this is like 1 pound of red acrylic yarn. I just started my second skein today because I've been crocheting for weeks on this. And I'll tell you, I love the idea of, first of all, red is my favorite color, but being able to snuggle up in a blanket while I'm watching a movie in the evenings, or to have it on my lap as I'm crocheting and watching a movie, I love things that I make myself. I spent a lot of time in wood shop when I was in high school and made furniture that it lives in my house. I spent a lot of time in college and after in pottery studios, and so there are a lot of plates and dishes and pitchers and what have you that I've made myself. I grow things in my garden so that I can, cook the food and serve it on plates that I've made. You see what I'm saying? I really love making things, like my jewelry and things, and so I wanted to pick up something where my hands would be busy in a long-term project, and one that I could still, listen to an audiobook, watch a movie while I was doing, and keep myself out of the snacks. So crochet has been really fun, and I would say that it's one of those things that has probably been the highlight, that and the correspondence, like the highlight of my month. And I realize that when it comes down to learning a yarn craft and writing letters, I'm starting to feel much older than my 45 years. That's okay, that's okay. But yeah, those are my favorites for August. I hope you have an incredible September. I hope you had a great August too, and I cannot wait until it starts to cool down. I need the weather to stop being triple digits. Oh, okay. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being subscribed, and I will see you again soon. Let me know in the comments down below what you have loved this month. And it doesn't have to be, makeup. It could be snack food related. It could be something that you're doing that has nothing to do with makeup. Let me know down below. I'll see you again soon. Bye.